the rank raglan hero type, right? So there's Alan Dundes and various other scholars have built on the work of these two other scholars, Rank and Raglan, from different periods, who found this sort of hero type model. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to find a mythotype, like a common theme. These common themes we find over and over again in many different myths. But it's clearly the theme is there. The idea of the public is acclaiming him king, and like that's a theme. But anyway, they'll focus on the little specific details. It's like, well, Jesus wasn't literally the Son of God. He was, if you look at the Gospel of Mark, he's adopted by God. That's not the same thing. It's like, no, it's a myth theme. The common theme is he's a son of God. It doesn't matter what particular way that's instantiated. The theme is this is a story about a son of God. There are a lot of stories about sons of God, and they all have similar themes. And we don't have this problem with, for example, literature anywhere else. This is the only field where people act like this. So I find that is the kind of thing that I'm trying to it's frustrating to have to explain. It's obvious. Why can't you see that why do I have to explain this? It's really frustrating.
You, for example, some, not all,
sure.
act like you're doing zeitgeist. So they use a horrible example
to
put on you as an academic.
Oh, yeah. Version of this. Right. Like, that's not even true. None of that stuff is true about Horace. Jesus is not Horace 2.0. That is not even and so people get focused on that. And I say, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimate scholarship. I'm talking about actual things that are with real peer-reviewed basis, right? And so that is a straw man argument that I'll have as one of the strategies they'll use to avoid admitting this fact. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you say Odysseus, and all the people flip out and it's not possible. It can't possibly have happened. And you already admit that it happens, and they're doing it as they're practicing it here. But why would you not admit this? And there was something Dennis had said earlier that in the case of, we see this in the Old Testament, right? So there's the Gilgamesh story is obviously there's mimesis of the Gilgamesh story in the Noah story and so on. And the Old Testament is riffing on other stories from other cultures around it, right? They're basing these things on there. But when we get to the New Testament, we're talking about authors of Greek who are highly educated. You can't get to compositional level of Greek like this without being very highly educated. We know for a fact, abundant fact, that these methods, this exact kind of mimesis method, was specifically taught in all the schools. So anyone who is doing books like this knows this method. They were taught this method. This is the thing they do. And they were taught Homer as a basis for it. So we know for a fact that they had the base text and that they were educated in how to make this kind of structural story, like riff on other stories in Homer with new stories and so on. We know they were educated to do it. Why suddenly now there's a wall up and it can't possibly have done it with Homer, the one text that they would know better than anything other than the Bible?
You to come in here and tell me what you honestly think that scholarship is not. Do you think that they either are practicing cognitive dissonance in different ways, or do you think they are honestly ignorant?
Well, I think for many of them, there's too much at stake personally and professionally. And so there's an inertia to accept inconvenient truths. We didn't talk about Joseph Campbell and the
that was the name
and the monomyth and the hero with 1,000 faces, and there's much to be said in favor of it. And we know from Clement of Alexandria and especially Justin Martyr that they compared Jesus to Heracles and to Dionysus and to Asclepius.
If we were able to resurrect these guys, let's say, they'd go, no, we wanted him to be better. He was better and he is better.
And that's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what Justin Martyr said in these same things. So Heracles is born of Zeus, right? He has all these labors. He dies a terrible death, and he's made into an Olympian. Dionysus is another child of Zeus. He is killed by the Titans. He's raised back to life. He offers life. He becomes, he's another one of the Olympians. I mean, one can go on and on. Yeah. They had models. They knew where Jesus was similar, but he was better. He came back to life. He was more compassionate. He had other powers. And so it's a competition of mythology. It's not an argument of historicity against mythology for them.
Right, yeah.
It's an argument about mythology.